Hi everyone, this is DinoSasha here, and welcome back to another review. And today we're gonna take a look at the figure. It is the Papo 2013 Giraffe. Now, Giraffe is a large African hoofed mammal that belong in the genus Giraffe. These species of creatures thrive only in Africa, but the size was determined by height. And it's only for a height for males is about 16 to 18 feet tall, 4.8 to 5.5 meters tall, and weigh up to 2,000 pounds, 100,900 kilograms. Females only about 14 to 16 feet tall, 4.3 to 4.8 meters, and weigh up to 2,600 pounds and 1,880 kilograms. Giraffes are considered Africa's tallest creatures, and some refer to this. Giraffes are one of the tallest terrestrial herbivores in the world, and the part of the species, Giraffe camelopardus, which means this species has unique appearance. Giraffe has a long neck with 7 vertebrates and has spots covered the entire body, and has a horn-like structure called ossicones, using next to fight for males, and the herbivores mainly eat plants, including acacia trees. Now, let's take a look at the tall creature's size, and let's talk about the sculpt. So the sculpt of the giraffe is pretty usual to see an animal like this. Now, some refer to this as a tall creature with the unusual neck structure, so this giraffe look amazing, not gonna say, which it's okay for an animal like that, so the design is usual, and I think this is considered what or not. So, a decent sculpt, not gonna say bad. While the pose, I'm actually gonna say, the pose is actually more standable pose. Giraffes are very tall, and you don't know what it's capable of, but turns out this is a pretty good figure to be added in. So, I like the pose on the giraffe, but giraffes do have long and very possessive tall pose. And yeah, kind of which. Details is okay. I think they put an effort to a giraffe's colors, including some of which. And hoofs. And yes, giraffes have hoofs, which means it's an artiodactylid, belonging to members of like the deer, a buffalo, and including whales, which whales have fins instead of hoofs. So, it makes sense for a giraffe to act like this. So, it makes sense for a herbivore like that, but it's just my opinion. Now let's talk about unusual is the color scheme. Now color scheme was based on a real animal. Like I said, it's covered by spots, and it's usually the giraffe spots, especially the black mane, kind of like a horse, but it's not a horse at all, which it make me feel like it's an animal with covered usual. It's covered by the light yellow colors, and I think it's have genitalia, meaning it's a male giraffe, and hoofs of the same thing, and the head of a giraffe. It's a pretty nice addition for an animal, so it makes herbivores look clear that the tall things is actually harder to catch, which makes sense since herbivores using the necks to fight for anything. Well, that's just me. Now accuracy is actually, I think it's a real giraffe though. It's still an animal with the usual long necks, and thinking of it, long necks is using to see something high or reaching up for a far distance. And yes, giraffes are vulnerable species, but some have been critically endangered or endangered. So, we're gonna bring up a ruler and let's give this giraffe a measure. In terms from the length from the tip of side of the neck, always tip of the tail, we're looking at about, as we see around, is 9¼ inches, and which is only at about, as we can see around, is 3½ inches, which 3 8.5, which is I call that 8.5 centimeters and 3.5 inches. That doesn't matter. Now the height on top of the neck and part of the ossicone, which it's only at about 7 inches, and which is only at about 17.5 centimeters. Now for comparison, I have a dinosaur that has the same pattern as a giraffe. Sadly, I don't have an okapi or any other relatives that I had. Well, here's with the dinosaur that has a giraffe-like patterns, the Lambeosaurus. Now the Lambeosaurus is actually pretty heavy for a dinosaur, which both species have patterns similar to each other because giraffe has the same pattern as it, but the different colors on the Lambeosaurus. So I'm gonna link the Lambeo in the description box down below. And for a rating of the giraffe, I'm just gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, giraffe is one of the few animals that I liked. So people think that the giraffes are magnificent creatures, live throughout the Africa like it's nothing. But if you know about this figure, let me know in the comments what you think. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you'll never miss the video. And leave a comments below, and I hope to see you for another review about the Schleich 2020 Red Panda. Goodbye everyone, and see you all next time.